Welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick. Today's episode is going to be a really interesting one because we're diving into something every language learner struggles with at some point, expressing emotions in English.
Yes, because think about it. You might learn grammar, you might learn vocabulary, but when you want to tell someone you're happy, sad, angry, or excited, suddenly the simple "I'm happy" or "I'm sad" feels too basic.
Exactly. And if you only stick to "I'm happy" or "I'm sad," you don't really sound natural. Native speakers use so many different expressions for feelings. Like instead of "I'm happy," you might hear "I'm over the moon" or "I'm on cloud nine."
And for sadness, it's not always "I'm sad." It could be "I'm feeling down," "I'm a bit blue," or even "I'm heartbroken," depending on how strong the emotion is.
And when it comes to anger, people don't always just say, "I'm angry." They might say, "I'm furious," "I'm mad," or even, "I'm ticked off." Some of these sound a little more casual, while others are stronger.
And excitement is one of my favorites, because native speakers love dramatic words like "I'm pumped," "I'm thrilled," "I'm buzzing," or even "I can't wait." These make your English feel alive, not robotic.
So in this episode, we're going to break down how to express different emotions, happy, sad, angry, and excited, using natural phrases, idioms, and vocabulary that you probably won't see in textbooks.
We'll also talk about tone, because it's not just the words, but how you say them. The same phrase can sound playful, serious, or even sarcastic depending on your intonation.
And we'll share little practice exercises so that you can try these phrases yourself and start sounding more natural when expressing how you feel in English.
So let's get started with the first one, happiness. Instead of always saying, "I'm happy," what are some fun alternatives you can use?
Well, one really common one is "I'm over the moon." It sounds very British, and it's often used when something wonderful has happened, like if you just got a promotion or passed an exam. You wouldn't really say it for something small, like finding your lost pen. It's more for bigger good news.
Right, and another one is "I'm on cloud nine." That's very popular too, and it paints this nice picture of floating in the sky, because you're so happy. It's a bit poetic, but very natural in everyday conversation.
There's also "I'm buzzing," which is more informal and often used in British English. For example, "I'm buzzing about the concert tonight." It shows you're not just happy but also full of energy and excitement.
Yes, and one that I personally love is "I'm chuffed." It's very British, quite casual, and it means you're pleased or delighted with something. Like, "I'm chuffed with how my presentation went."
Good one. So happiness is full of variety, and learners should definitely try mixing these phrases in instead of always repeating, "I'm happy."
Exactly. Now let's move on to sadness. This is another emotion where people often default to just "I'm sad," but English has so many expressions. For example, "I'm feeling down" is a really natural one. It's gentle, not too dramatic, and often used in everyday conversation.
Yes, and then there's "I'm a bit blue." That's a nice idiomatic way to say you're sad without being too heavy. People will often understand it as, "I'm not feeling my best."
If it's a stronger sadness, people might say, "I'm heartbroken," or "I'm devastated." These are used for more serious situations, like losing someone or a breakup, not just for small things.
Exactly. And there are also casual ways like, "I'm gutted." That's very British. For example, "I'm gutted we lost the match." It means you're really disappointed or upset.
Yes. Gutted is one of those words that you'll almost never find in a textbook, but native speakers say it all the time.
So you can see that expressing emotions in English is not just about the simple words. It's about the shades of feeling, and the words help you match your emotion more precisely.
Now, should we look at anger next?
Absolutely. Anger is a tricky one because it can sound really strong, but there are ways to express it politely or more casually. For example, instead of just saying, "I'm angry," people often say, "I'm annoyed." That's softer and more common in everyday life.
Yes, I'm annoyed is perfect when something small goes wrong, like missing the bus. If it's a bit stronger, you might say, I'm frustrated. That shows you're upset, but more because things aren't working the way you want.
Right. And then there's I'm upset, which is interesting because it doesn't always mean sad. It can also mean angry or irritated, depending on the context.
Exactly. If you're really angry, though, people might say, I'm furious, or I'm livid. Those are very strong, and you'd usually use them in more serious situations, like if someone treated you very unfairly.
And in casual British English, people sometimes say, I'm fuming. That paints a picture of smoke coming out of your ears, right? It's very expressive.
Yes, fuming is great, and it's quite visual. Learners should be careful, though, use the softer ones more often, because furious, or livid, can sound very strong.
Definitely. Now, let's move to excitement, because that's one learners love to show when talking about hobbies, plans, or experiences.
Excitement is a fun one. Instead of just I'm excited, you can say, I'm thrilled. That's really common, and it works in both formal and informal situations.
And there's, I can't wait. That's a natural way to show excitement about something in the future. Like, I can't wait for the weekend.
Another one is I'm pumped. That's more American, and it's very informal. People say it when they're excited in a high-energy way, like before a concert or a sports game.
Oh yes, and I'm hyped is another very casual one. Young people use it a lot, especially in American English. It shows you're really, really excited about something.
Exactly. So when learners expand their vocabulary for emotions, they not only sound more natural, but also more expressive and interesting to listen to.
And it helps connect better with people because you're matching the emotion more accurately. Saying, I'm a bit down, feels different from, I'm devastated, and people will respond differently.
Right. And practicing these expressions in real conversations is the best way to make them feel natural. Maybe learners can even keep a little feelings diary in English, writing how they feel each day using different words.
That's a brilliant idea. It makes emotions part of your active vocabulary, not just something you recognize when you hear it.
Exactly. Should we maybe give some quick mini dialogues as examples?
Sure, let's do that. For example, imagine this little dialogue. A, hey, how are you? B, I'm a bit down today. Work has been stressful. That sounds natural, right? It's not too dramatic, but it shows your real feeling.
Perfect. And here's one for happiness. A, guess what? I passed my driving test. B, that's amazing. I'm so thrilled for you. See how thrilled feels much stronger and warmer than just happy.
Exactly. And for anger, you could have A, they cancelled my flight at the last minute. B, I'd be so frustrated too. That's a very natural way people talk in real life.
And finally, excitement. A, we've got tickets to the concert next week. B, no way. I'm so pumped. I can't wait. That kind of energy really shows your emotion.
These little dialogues show how emotions naturally appear in everyday conversations, and they help learners hear the rhythm of the words too.
Yes, because emotions aren't just vocabulary, they also change your intonation and emphasis. When you're thrilled, your voice goes higher. When you're sad, it's softer. When you're angry, it can be sharper.
That's a great point. Learners can actually practice not just the words but the tone of voice, which makes their English sound even more authentic.
Exactly. So maybe, next time you learn a new emotion word, try saying it with the right expression on your face and the right tone in your voice. It makes a huge difference.
Totally agree. Emotions are about connection, not just vocabulary.
And sometimes you don't even need big words. Think about how natural it sounds when someone just says, "Wow, I'm so tired," or "I'm really excited." These simple sentences are powerful because they are easy, natural, and real.
Right, and learners sometimes make the mistake of overcomplicating things. They try to use very formal words when talking about their feelings, like "I am experiencing melancholy." Nobody really says that in daily life unless they're trying to sound like a poet. Instead, just say, "I feel sad," or "I'm kind of down."
That's such a good reminder. Keeping it simple makes it easier for people to understand you, and it also makes you sound more natural. Another thing is adding little phrases like, "to be honest," or "you know what" before your feelings. For example, to be honest, "I'm really nervous right now." That sounds exactly like what a native speaker would say.
Yes. Those little phrases are called discourse markers, and they make your speech flow more naturally. They also help to express feelings more clearly. Like, "Actually, I'm kind of angry about that," or "Honestly, I'm so happy for you."
And don't forget body language. Smiling when you say you're happy, frowning a little when you say you're upset. It makes your words more believable. Even if your vocabulary isn't perfect, people will still understand what you mean.
That's true. Communication is more than just words. Tone, body language, and context all help you express emotions. So learners shouldn't worry too much about finding the perfect word. It's more important to be clear and real.
Absolutely. And practicing with role plays, like we did earlier with those dialogues, is such a great way to build confidence in expressing emotions in English. Would you like me to expand with more role play examples next?
Exactly. And if you practice little by little, you'll find that expressing your feelings in English becomes more natural over time. The key is not to hide your emotions just because you're afraid of making a mistake.
Right? Because feelings are universal, whether you're happy, sad, angry, or excited, everyone understands those emotions. Using English to express them connects you to people, even if your grammar or vocabulary isn't perfect.
So, keep practicing, keep experimenting with new phrases, and don't be afraid to show how you feel. The more you do it, the more natural it will sound.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
We'll see you again in the next episode.
Until then, take care and keep speaking English with confidence.